Marvel's long-awaited return of Daredevil has officially landed on Disney+, and the verdict is in. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are back, and they brought everything fans remembered with them, for better and for worse. Daredevil. Born Again premiered on Disney+, reigniting one of Marvel's most critically praised corner of its sprawling cinematic universe. The series picks up with Matt Murdock, the blind lawyer by day and masked vigilante by night, navigating the aftermath of devastating personal loss while insisting his crime-fighting days are behind him. Meanwhile, Wilson Fisk, the calculating, culturally refined mob boss turned mayoral candidate, makes the same hollow promise to the people of New York City. Neither man is telling the truth, and the show wastes no time making that abundantly clear. Cox reprises the role that made him a fan favorite during the original Netflix run, which concluded in 2018 after 3 seasons. D'Onofrio returns alongside him as Kingpin, a character who has quietly reappeared across multiple Disney Plus titles including Hawkeye, Echo, and She-Hulk. Attorney at law, as well as the theatrical release Spider-Man: No Way Home. Despite the years and the platform change, both actors slide back into their roles with a comfort that feels earned rather than effortless. The new series is not a reboot. Showrunner Dario Scardapane, known for his work on The Punisher, along with creators Matt Corman and Chris Ord, have crafted a continuation that assumes audiences know these characters and respects that familiarity rather than explaining it away. Foggy Nelson, played by Eldon Henson, and Karen Page, played by Deborah Ann Wool, are back at Matt's side, working out of his newly established law firm. The dynamic feels lived in, worn comfortable like a favorite jacket pulled from the back of a closet. The action sequences carry the same brutal, grounded energy that defined the original series. Choreographer Philip Silvera returns to shape the hallway fights that once set a new standard for superhero television, and the results remain viscerally satisfying. Composer John Paisano's iconic theme resurfaces alongside the Newton brothers, who handle the bulk of the new score. When Cox dons the red suit again and moves through shadow-drenched corridors throwing punches with desperate intensity, the scene lands with a familiarity that functions less like repetition and more like muscle memory. New additions to the cast include Margarita Levieva as Heather, Matt's therapist and love interest, and Jania Walton as Bibi Urich, a Gen Z journalist whose lineage connects her to the original series mythology. Both characters arrive with considerable promise. Walton, in particular, brings an energy that feels genuinely fresh. Her street-level interviews with ordinary New Yorkers offering a grounded counterpoint to the operatic chess match between Matt and Fisk. However, as the 9-episode first half of what is planned to be an 18-episode series progresses, both characters are gradually subordinated to the needs of the central conflict, their individual arcs narrowing in ways that feel more like missed opportunities than deliberate choices. The series gestures toward broader social commentary, police corruption, class inequality, the machinery of political power, but these threads sit closer to atmosphere than argument. They give Born Again a textured, street-level weight, without fully committing to the implications of what they raise. It is a show that wears its ambitions lightly, perhaps too lightly. John Bernthal returns as Frank Castle, the Punisher, and his scenes with Cox deliver the kind of volatile, morally complicated friction that makes the Daredevil mythology so compelling when it fires on all cylinders. The tension between these two men, one who operates in grey, the other in absolute black, remains one of the franchise's most interesting ideological fault lines. Nikki M. James appears as Kirsten, a colleague whose easy rapport with Matt suggests a warmth the series sometimes struggles to sustain elsewhere. What carries Born Again above the weight of its own formula is the quality of its 2 lead performances. D'Onofrio has lost nothing in the decade since he first inhabited Fisk. The character's contradictions, his estate's sensibility, housed in a body built for destruction, his tenderness for his wife Vanessa, alongside his bottomless capacity for cruelty, remain as compelling as ever. A scene as mundane as Fisk eating dinner carries the charge of a threat. Cox, however, is the spine of the entire production. His Daredevil is anxious and wounded and furious, all the qualities the genre demands. But Cox layers underneath those qualities a lightness, an approachability, that makes the character feel genuinely human in ways that most superhero performances do not manage. He generates chemistry with nearly every actor who shares a scene with him, and in those moments the show briefly opens into something that could grow into something genuinely surprising. The first season, consisting of 9 episodes, represents only half of the total planned run, and its ending reflects that structural reality. The story does not resolve so much as pause, which is a legitimate creative choice for a serialized narrative, but does leave the viewing experience feeling slightly suspended. What is here is largely good. What might have been here, given the talent assembled and the goodwill the franchise carries, is something that occasionally feels just out of reach. Now that Daredevil, Born Again, has made its case for why this corner of the Marvel Universe still matters, the question falls to audiences. Is the nostalgia enough? Is the promise of what these characters could become worth the patience required to get there? Does Matt Murdock deserve the peace he keeps claiming to want, or is the violence inseparable from who he is? If you have thoughts on whether Born Again lives up to the legacy of the original Netflix series, drop them in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of every Marvel development as this franchise continues to expand, hit like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a breakdown.